Hi, this is Sir David, and I thought I would say something fancy like, this is the new Caribou Show. But I'm not going to say that because it's just a fat old man sitting in the closet and, bashing, that's what my daughter says, bashing the Mormon church. There's no one better to bash. Hey, I've got some, I think, positive and good news. I've been following the Standsbury High School over in Tooele, Tooele, Utah, and I went over there. And I had to crowd through, yesterday I went over there, I had to crowd through a police car that I had to park beside, and Channel 4 News. And I met the reporter setting up for Channel 4 News, and then I saw him at 6 o'clock last night on the Standsbury situation, and they photographed the doors that the kids were not allowed to go through. But anyway, there's two things that I want to do. And I've given a lot of thought, which is not normal for me. I've given a lot of thought to the first subject that I want to address. And being a father, I know every girl in the world is not my daughter, but there comes a point where, I don't know, I guess it's just me. I've had many young Standsbury high school students go on to my website in the comments, which I'm happy as can be. I'm happy as can be that those young people are mature enough to express their opinion. Now, most of their opinions don't agree with the world. They said the Mormon Church didn't have anything to do with this, and the Mormon Church, as my comments show and my opinion shows, was 100% responsible for the dress code over there that's being enforced. Now here's what I want to do, and I consider this one of the most important things that I can do as an old, stupid old man. You young people that came on, you have been warned and warned and warned about not giving out personal information about yourselves. Now, I've had 155,000 hits in my program, and I can't guarantee that none of those are not pedophiles. 21,000 of those people on my hits are Utahns. And I hate to say it, but in Utah, they follow more than the statistics, with 1 in 6 boys and 1 in 3 or 4 girls become sexually assaulted sometime in their life. Now let me get right to it. Okay, I had and again, I have to be so careful to shield these young people because I don't know who's watching me. The Danites, I don't care. They just kill you. If you're a young woman, your life can be ruined. So let me say this. I've had a couple, and I'm not going to identify any of these kids, and they're brilliant, they're sharp, they know a little bit of Mormon history, and they're willing to stand up for what they think is right. Now, I've had one person, and this person knows who they are, that has revealed, and I'm sure just innocently, maybe accidentally, and I'm going to say to them, maybe stupidly. Now listen to me. I'm a father, and I've got, I forget, 7 or 8 girls. It's about half and half. And if you were my daughter, I would say the same things to you if I picked up what you did. Okay? And so any other girls, young people, and there are not a lot of young people that watch my program, but there's some 35 and 40-year-old parents, and you can pass it certainly on to your children or grandparents. Pass it on to your other children. Don't identify your gender. Stay neutral on your gender. You're going to make comments on public internet sites. Don't reveal your agenda. Your agenda. You're on the site to give your agenda. That's okay, but your gender, whether you're male or female, don't reveal that. Don't reveal that, because anybody looking to be involved in evil things with young people are going to separate out whether the boys, they want the boys or the girls, and you're already in that category. So stay gender non-specific. Not slap you. I'm talking to you like a dad. Don't let me see you say, oh, I'm a girl, or oh, I'm a boy on the football team. Jeez, how easy is that going to be to find you? Now, the second thing about your gender, or after your gender, is don't reveal any personal information. Where you live, not even really the state you live in, not the states you've been educated in or have lived in. Because if you say, well, gee, I was in Maine, New Hampshire, and Boston, and now Utah, automatically people know that your father is probably in the military, and or that you're coming from a broken home, and there's been a divorce, and someone has moved you out of the area. See, I admire and I love the young people. That's why I have degrees, and that's why I have so many kids. But, and I'm telling you, as a father, your little brains are not quite developed all the way into adulthood. And they probably won't be till you're around 21 or 22 years old. Yeah, you can get married at 18. Yeah, you can, get sued and go to jail. But as a father, I'm telling you, you're not using judgment. And judgment comes with wisdom and experience. And you just don't have it. I'm not blaming you for it, but I'm trying to help you not hurt yourself. So don't tell people where your history is or that you came from this. Don't tell people, unless it's the subject, that you're a beautician. Don't tell them that, because it's easy to find people who are beauticians. They have a license. You can just go through the state licensing. And you young people don't think of that. Don't show your license plate numbers on your Facebooks. My sweet wife, she came in with my dinner, my lunch. Thank you. If I keep broadcasting, I won't get anything to drink. I know that. She is so cute. Anyway, be careful of your Facebook. Be very careful. Oh, God. Okay, I can't eat that. I'm so rude in front of all you. If you show a license plate, I had a friend who had a friend who had a friend, and my friend was Mormon back in those days as a policeman. He'd run any plate for me that I wanted. Name, address, sex, cars, anything. Come right up. Don't show your license plates. Don't stand in front of the Standsbury High School. I think you're called the Stallions. No, God, I can't help but being obnoxious. If your school is called the Stallions, girls, get a damn chastity belt on. If it was called the Gildings, I wouldn't be worried as a father. But if you had a school that's called the Erections, I wouldn't want my kid even there. So anyway, young people, let me finish what I'm saying to you. Don't put anything on your Facebook, on your iPhone, or anywhere that can identify your gender, where you live, where you work, what your background is, and, well, you can certainly identify your religion, I guess, but remember this. Now remember this, Mormon children. If you tell me you're in the Newport Beach stake, that only has 7 to 9 wards in it. That puts you in a pretty short supply right there. And I can walk in on Sunday and say, pretend that I'm a visitor, or pretend that I'm some kind of a Mormon from, Kolob, and say, by the way, do you know where the Jenny family? Oh, yeah, they're in the 3rd ward. Oh, I said, well, thank you very, very much. Now I can go to the 3rd ward. What's wrong with being old? You're seeing it. The 3rd ward, and get a printout of the members, and now I've got the name, the father, and some of those ward printouts have birthdays on them. Some of them have addresses on them. Don't give out information that highly intelligent pedophiles can trace. You're endangering yourself. You may think you're being cute and smart, but you're going to end up pregnant and dumb, or worse, raped. So let me speak as a father to the boys and to the girls. Be extremely careful that you don't stand in front of a curb that has a number on it of your house. You have got to be more aware. You're dealing with a world I never dealt with. I never dealt with this world this way, with your internet and your cameras and your iPhones and satellites, and oh my gosh, you have a wonderful world. But young people, please, when you come on my site, which you're very welcome to be on my site, I'm glad to see it. Don't reveal your gender. Don't reveal, now we're talking about Standsbury High School. It's pretty hard to stay third person on that, but you can be. You can be. You can say the famous school in Terwilliger, Utah. Everybody knows it's Standsbury, and it's not known for its academic achievements. It's known for short skirts. So the last thing, don't reveal personal information about your family. If your father works nights, for God's sakes, don't say that, fool. If your mom is in a single-parent family, for God's sakes, don't say that, young people. You have to be grown up in your world. You live in a very dangerous world that very bad people, men and women, can find you. And once they see your picture and you're just kind of what they're looking for, boys or girls, you're at risk. So, Dad's done talking. If I see you do it again, I'm going to slap you one. Don't give that information out. Okay, now a piece of good news, I hope. Let me have one potato. Ooh, that's good. I can go all day now. I had a phone call today, and it went well. And I'm telling you, I don't lie. I don't lie. And of course, if I keep saying that looks like projection. But anyway, you can call the Standsbury school district. It's the Tooele school district, which Standsbury School is under. So the boss of Standsbury High School called me, and she, I think, is the vice chairman or district manager. Yeah, I didn't get the top person, but I got the second to top person. She was very polite. She was listening, all ears. She was evaluating what I was saying, and she let me speak to the end of my speech. I've never had a Mormon, well, I assume she's a Mormon, do that, and I appreciate that. It shows they're making some progress. Mashed potatoes, gravy, meat. I told her these things, and I want my audience to know. I said, listen, and she did. What you people did was one of the most obnoxious and traumatizing events that you can put in these young people's lives. Calling for a makeup dance is like a doctor who kills the lady's baby upon birth accidentally and says, don't worry about it, we'll get you another one somewhere in the hospital. Talk about shit for brains. I remember being young. It's a little bit on the side of my brain, and maybe I can remember it. I was scared to death to ask anybody to a dance when I was a young man. There were some girls that I knew were out of my league. Not very many. Who knows? More gravy. And it took all of my courage just to ask one girl. And I remember I had a cute little girl that I was kind of interested in, and we were at a dance. Her name was Libby, L-I-B-B-Y, and she was the beauty queen of Ventura County. And I was, hanging out with the guys, and I said, I'm going to go over and ask Libby to dance. All my boyfriends there, they weren't boyfriends, they were just friends that had penises. I was like, well, maybe that's not the right way to say it. Other guys that we were talking about the girls. And so, I went over and I said, Libby, would you like to dance? And she looked at me and said, in your dreams. Well, that's usually where I dance with you anyway. I'll just go back and dance there. She says, that'd be a good idea. Now, when you're 16, 15, 17, that's traumatized. And here I am, 65 years old, and I remember it. I remember the night and the dance, and she's blonde. I remember it. I was traumatized. So for the boys, I feel for you. No, wait, I don't want to say that. These days, you can't say anything. I feel sorry for the boys that used their last courage to ask a girl to the prom. And some of those boys may have been turned down until they found somebody that would go with them. The boys don't know what the hell to do. I'm speaking from experience. I don't know how to buy a corsage. There's, I guess, certain corsages that mean certain things. If you buy a black rose and give it to her for the dance, I don't think that's going to fly. But anyway, I'm trying to tell you what traumatizing experience this is for the boys. Well, then I have to think, I've never had a suit on. Now, the Mormon boys, they don't have to worry as much about that. I think I wore a tuxedo once in my life, and I don't know why. I can't remember. I wasn't traumatized in this tuxedo. But anyway, for the boys to go, oh God, I like Levi's and tennis shoes, and I'm going to have to put on a tie and, you know, dress up, and I'm a fool. I don't know anything about that. Mom is tying his tie, and Dad is saying, hey, looking good, man. Looking good. Take the tennis shoes off. They don't go with a tuxedo. Oh, okay. And the boys can't drive. A lot of the boys can't drive. They don't have a car, or they borrowed Dad's car, and many of them can't drive, so they have to get together with their other buddies who can drive, or a taxi, which looks stupid, and a limo we can't afford. We don't know what door to get in a limo, and we don't want to be made fun of. You know, when I open the front door on shotgun and yell shotgun, and my girl gets in the back, that doesn't fly. Boys don't know that shit. We're pretty immature in high school. So anyway, we go through all of that drama that goes on. Then we have to tell our other boyfriends, I'm going with Maggie. And sometimes our boyfriends will go, ooh, that's cool. And sometimes they'll go, well, she's a two-bagger. You wear a paper bag on your head, and she wears one on her head. In case one blows off, they won't know who you're with. So there's social pressure there, a lot of social pressure. Now, I can only tell you from a father's point of view, and it may be poor, of how a girl goes through that process. A girl probably starts worrying about someone asking her to the dance 6 months in advance. Girls love to talk. Females just love verbal communication. It's part of their genetics. And they're talking to the girlfriends, oh, I hope I hope Jim gets me. Oh, I wouldn't go with him. I think he likes me. He looks at me over there in math, but I don't want to go with him. But if I turn him down, maybe no one else will ask me, and then I'll be sitting at home. So the girls are traumatized at that age, at the very same way that the boys are. The boys are expected to lead out and ask, and the poor girls are just victims of our society. Nowadays, in some places, the girls are okay to say, hey, would you go to the prom with me, but not in Utah. Not in Utah. You're going to see flying pigs over Standsbury High School beating up the stallions before that happens. So, then they start saying, oh, what dress? What's the theme? And the theme is, you know, the Polynesian paradise or something. And their dresses have to match that. And they go with their mom, and they go with their girlfriends, and they go over to several stores, and they go, oh, that's so cute, that's so cute, oh, but I can't wear, and, you know, that one doesn't fit, I can't wear that one, that's the wrong color. The girls go through a lot to get ready to be presentable. Then you have these young girls, and mine's one of them, she's 14, The first day she went to 7th grade, she asked me to help her put her makeup on, which I thought Homie the Clown makeup would look good, but she didn't. These are girls that are very concerned about how they look. And their hair. Should I get my hair cut? Shouldn't I get it cut? My hair is dyed purple. Maybe that won't fit in with the Polynesian paradise theme. So they're worried about that. And they're worried about, you know, the mustache that they have. Should they take that off with cream 2 or 3 weeks before? And the pimple that came out here, can they cover that, or will that be gone? Well, now you get to the point where they need to know what their hair is going to be like, and mom needs to go and pay for the prom dress. And these young girls, they don't have jobs, most of them. So if you're going to pay $90 or $150 for a dress, your parents are going to pay for that, not you. You can take your babysitting money, but that ain't $150 probably. So the parents have an investment in it, and being a dad, I just sit back, and she comes down and demonstrates her dress, and it's just magnificent. You know, when you have these children since a baby, and now they're going to pair off with at least a boy for a dance, and they come down and their hair is magnificent, their makeup is magnificent, their dress is magnificent, and they've got that little innocent smile, and she says, "Dad, how do I look?" My girls are pretty they're pretty I'm trying to think of the right word, but when I say hot, I wish I was in 11th grade. You know, in our family we talk like that, you know, and the girls just smile and they go, "Daddy likes it," and it's cute. And my 14-year-old still comes down almost every day, and what she's wearing to school and her hair, she says, "Dad, am I hot?" I go, "Yeah." Or sometimes she comes down looking like Homie the Clown. Those of you, you don't know Homie the Clown. You know, he should be prophet of the Mormon church. Look up on the internet, Homie the Clown, and watch 2 or 3 of his videos. It's funny as hell. And I'll go, "No, you look like Homie." A dress over Levi's, that ain't gonna fly. 1 tennis shoe and 1 barefoot, that ain't gonna fly. So the parents are involved, and we think back on our prom, and we think back on how scared we were, and how our heart goes out to these young people, the boys and the girls, that they're so willing to venture, they're so willing to try to come in to a very hateful and mean adult world where not everybody thinks that they're cute or funny. Now, the boy has to think of how to get her there. The girl has to think and talks with the girlfriend. "Well, what if he wants to give me a kiss goodnight? Where are we going afterwards?" Now, boys, if you take her to the Maverick gas station and buy a hot dog and a Coke after her prom, that's what I would have done. But because I watched James Bond a lot when I was a kid, I go, no, don't go to the Maverick gas station. So he and her have got to figure out, or he has to figure out and surprise her. Now the young man has to come up with all this money. He's got to come up with, whatever, $125 to rent a tuxedo, and then he's got to have a corsage, $35, and then he has to pay for dinner, $50 afterwards. And if they take pictures at the picture place there inside the gym, he's got to pay for, you know, the $30 for that. Now, this is just to get to the damn dance. Now, when you get there, he's saying to himself, "Should I hold her hand and walk over there and get in? Or will she think I'm being kind of forward?" And she's thinking, "Well, if he tries to hold my hand, I'm a Mormon. We don't hold hands on the first date." Now, I'm just teasing there because the girls in the Mormon church, the young ones, have not been poisoned as much as the old ones. But those are things that are on these young people's mind. And they're both thinking, "Oh, God, this is a hard one for young people. I don't know how to dance. I hope they don't have the waltz. I hope they don't do break dancing. I hope, because you're going to look like a fool." Now, the girls in dresses, do they break dress in a dress? I need to go to some of these I'm just teasing. So they're saying to themselves, oh my God, you know, people may make fun of me, or I should have practiced more, and it's just scary. They come to the front door, and they have their tickets that he probably had to pay for, again, and he's only 15 years old. He doesn't have a job, or he's 17, and he has to babysit the other kids at home, so he can't work at McDonald's. They go to the front door, and there's a man there, and he has a bumper sticker on his forehead that says, asshole. Now the kids go, well, you know, this is our school, and I know my dress is okay, and my suit, and you have to wear a suit or a tie. And they walk up to get into the dance, and Mr. Asshole goes to the girl, not to the boy. The Mormons love to persecute the females. If you have a vagina in Utah, you might as well think you're in Auschwitz. You might as well be in a concentration camp. And he says to her, you can't come in. Your dress is too short. How do you think any young girl is going to feel with that? She's going to say, oh my God, now she could be a Mormon, she may not be a Mormon, but their feelings are going to be very similar. I'm a whore. I'm a slut. How can I disappoint my boyfriend and my parents? What am I going to say to my parents? That I couldn't get into the dance because I'm an adulterous woman. The scarlet A is on my forehead. And then 7 or 8 or 15, or the numbers I get are 2/3 of the girls, all were ejected from not going into the dance, ejected and or not even let into the dance. Now, what's going to keep the girls from crying themselves to sleep that night? What's going to keep the boys from going, God, I didn't want to do this shit in the first place, and now look, I got to go to school Monday morning and go, hey, you know, Jenny, who is a sweet, nice person, but her dress is too short, so she puts out. She puts out. The kids' reputations, the money, the expectations. This is almost like a rite of passage into the adult world. This may be many times the first date of these kids at those ages. You know, it's hard for me to even do this video because I love my girls so much. I took my meds today, and so the Danites are safe. But if that happened to one of my kids, I'm not going to predict. You all know me. I'm not a new character to you. So you can just imagine that I may make a trip over to the school, and I may have a chat with the authorities. Now, here's what I said to the district office and to the vice district. I can't remember what you call her. The vice district manager or superintendent? Oh, superintendent maybe. I said, you've ruined those girls for life. You may not know it, but I have 2 degrees in human services and credits in human services, and it's very similar to a rape. A rape, many people think a girl gets over being raped. It's not true. It's a lie. Any girl that has been raped is scarred for life. What this school district did to these young girls is like a rape. They'll remember it the rest of their lives when their daughters are getting dressed for the prom, and they say, well, Mommy, what did you wear to the prom? And she has to say, well, a short dress that was so short that I couldn't even get into the prom. I'm just a wicked mother and a bad example for you as a child, and I've hated myself ever since. I told the person that called me, I said, to have a makeup dance is ridiculous. They don't have the money. They don't have the time. You had one damn chance to help those young people emerge into adulthood, and you screwed it up. Now, here's what else I told her. I said, you're enforcing the Mormon church standards on these young people that they're supposed to be dressing as if they're wearing garments. Let me tell you something. We don't wear garments in our family. We don't care if people do, but we don't want to be forced to dress like people who wear garments. Said, you've got to take a look at the real world. In Tooele, Utah, you're in the dark ages over there. She says, well, we have a few people that supported us. I said, God, I have 150,000 people that think you're a horse's ass. Channel 4 News thinks you're a horse's ass. Most of Utah thinks you're a horse's ass. I said, do you really want that reputation over there that Tooele is the most stupid school district and abusive and hateful school district? You need to fire that assistant principal. He has no judgment. Now, I've been in charge of people in institutions. Fire, weather, plumbing, riot, people coming in with guns, terrorists, collapse of part of the building. You have to have administrators that don't have their heads up their ass. I know Standsbury held 4 assemblies apologizing to the students. Big deal. You're not going to be able to apologize. That's like somebody who killed your whole family and then apologizes to you. Oh, that's going to make them all come alive again. You've ruined these young people's life. And I said, it's gone viral. I go to 161 countries in the world, and I've got 4 or 5 videos on you. KSL, I don't think has even picked it up, the church station, but Channel 4 and the Huffington Post and others, major newspapers have picked it up, and you've made yourselves look stupid. She never said a word. She never said a word, which I appreciate, because I was able to speak my mind for the first time to a principal or to an authority in that school district. And I basically said, I don't run your school, and I don't intend to run your school, but you people need to get out of Tooele, and you need to take a look at what the Supreme Court says about student dress standards. There's only 4 ways you can kick that student out of that building. There's only 4 ways, and you in Tooele have never read it, you don't think about it, and because you're Mormons, we don't follow the Constitution. We don't go for big government. We're going to control our girls' dress lengths. Well, how about the FLDS? They make the girls wear the dresses all the way to the ground. How about the Muslims? They have a better dress code for girls. You know, they have to cover their faces and wear clothes all the way to the ground. So anyway, I do want to say this. The district level person that I talked to was extremely courteous. She listened. And then at the end, she says, well, I don't agree with you. And that's perfectly fine. And I said, you don't have to agree with me. All I'm trying to be is a voice of reason. A voice of reason of what you did to those young people. And she said, well, we are reviewing our policies, and we're reviewing this and reviewing that. And I said, well, I hope you do it without the Mormon pressure. Because you're more Mormon over in Tooele. You're 60% Mormon over in Tooele. The rest of the state is about 50.5%. So make your dress codes fit the world. Okay, well, my meal went cold. And my wife says, she's so sweet, she goes, David, when you talk, I just go to sleep. Now, I would think that's her problem. But I've had other wives. They've done the same damn thing. They don't think it's that interesting, and so I don't think they're hits on here at all. But anyway, if you want to voice your protest, please do. And if you want to compliment at the district level, I think there's a preliminary compliment that at least they're listening. They know what they've done. Do they have the courage to fix it? I don't know. Thanks.